Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Level Up Podcast. My name is Trevor Sharuka from Smashing Pixels, also from the Level Up Podcast. Imagine that. The trend of the day or the trend of the last few weeks is, hey, stay at home, don't go anywhere, but we need to buy stuff. So what do? You know what you do. You go on the old computer and you do a search like this. Maybe you find your local store is doing curbside pickup or they're doing e-commerce. Maybe you go to Amazon to buy something. Either way, what this lockdown with COVID-19 is doing, it's educating us all how to start purchasing online and become e-commerce shoppers. What does that mean to the businesses out there? Well, to those who took advantage of e-commerce in the last few years and had put their store online and had loaded their stuff onto Amazon or used another portal to sell their stuff, it sometimes means business as usual. But to those who did not, really is heartening to see that they're not getting the sales and they're not getting the traffic that they should be getting in this really this time of need. So what I wanted to do and to keep on going on with the educating people and showing people, giving them some steps as to how they can possibly help out. If you're a business owner and you want to start selling stuff online, or you are selling stuff online and you thought, how can I do more? I thought I would bring in a special guest. So today I brought in my friend from down south, from the good old US of A, Brandon Clark. Brandon has been selling on Amazon for a long time. I'll let him kind of explain that to you and tell a little bit about what he does. But he's also here to answer some of my questions that people have been giving me about everything from e-commerce to Amazon to also to what is true and what is just an old wives' tale that we keep hearing. Anyways, welcome to the show, Brandon. Brandon, how about you let everyone know who you are and what it is that you do?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here, and hopefully I could pass on a lot of value for your listeners here. But like you said, I'm an e-commerce specialist. I've been in the e-commerce game for over a decade, for probably about 12 years now. Started out in SEO and building backlinks and doing all that good fun stuff. And then in 2013, started selling on Amazon and been full-time with Amazon since then. We've taken multiple brands to 7 and 8 figures and all that good fun stuff, and just rinsing and repeating. But we have a big emphasis of using Amazon as kind of that top of funnel stuff for us, and then we get people into our ecosystem on our Shopify stores and our e-commerce stores and stuff like that.
Perfect. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of it, Brandon, are you this super genius that only you could figure this out, or people who are at home that are like, I could never figure this out, that guy did? Are there some ways that it's not as hard as maybe what you think it is, though there is some legwork involved?
Yeah, in anything you do, there's going to be legwork, right? Like if you're trying to lose 5 pounds, 5 pounds doesn't seem like a lot, but you still have to go out there and put in the work and put in the work daily. If you let off the gas, you're going to, fall through the cracks and not get anywhere. Same thing with e-commerce and Amazon. I'm not a genius by far. It took me a long time to get where I'm at. But it's something that can easily be done. It's just following a system, right? And there's different systems out there that you can follow, from private labeling to arbitrage, from wholesaling, but they all have a system. And so if you just put one foot in front of the other and follow that system, anybody can do it, right? It's not something that takes, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. You can set up this business to work around how much time you have. But again, you're just following that plan. So it really is something that anybody can do.
All right. So we're going to back it up one little bit. Explain to everyone what private label and arbitrage is, just for those following along that are like, I've heard those words. I'm just not sure what it is.
Yeah. So private label or white label, you'll hear it both back and forth. It's you're finding a supplier, finding someone that manufactures products for you. So for me, I sell supplements. That's my wheelhouse. That's what I'm known for. That's what we took multiple brands to 7 figures with. And so for us, say we'll want to go sell a melatonin product or a vitamin D. Right? Vitamin D is really hot right now with the COVID crisis. So, we'll go find suppliers that have vitamin D products and then we'll slap our own label on it. So we'll build a brand around these different products that other people manufacture, but to the consumer, it looks like we're the whole supplier, the manufacturer, and all that. Now, arbitrage, that's if I go out and hit up clearance sections and different retail stores. You can do it online, but you're finding extra goods for brands that are already out there, and then you're reselling them. So with Amazon, if you ever go to a product listing page, so just a regular product on Amazon, if you see just one seller on it and you cannot buy from multiple sellers, there's not multiple prices involved, usually that's a private label type product. And then if you go on that same list or another listing and there's 20 different options for prices and stuff like that, that's usually the arbitrage type products out there. So it's just reselling products that are already out there.
Perfect. And for those who are listening, if you manufacture your own product and process, like Brandon said, you're the private label. You are that person selling your product. So that's what we want to focus a little bit on as well. Now, SEO, dude, that's my wheelhouse. I mean, you and I could sing that song all day long and have a great old time. And I could see the leap from SEO into affiliate. I mean, it makes sense. A lot of people have done it. Before you went from SEO into Amazon, did you do, because I know you have an e-commerce store on your own website as well. Did you start in e-commerce first before Amazon, or did you full-fledged go Amazon first and then back into e-commerce thinking that, hey, I can still sell some stuff on my own if I want?
No, it was straight e-commerce. So my wife, my in-laws, her father and mother were old StomperNet coaches, which if you've been in the game for a long time, you know what that is. But if not, then, it's just over the head. But it was an old collective of a group of people that did SEO, built backlinks. It was just all about e-commerce. So they had an e-commerce store that I started working with and helping them with that, and then started venturing into my own. So I sold purses back in the day, like a decade ago. I had a lift kit, so 4-wheel drive trucks, they jack the trucks up. I had a lift kit store as well. So I've been in e-commerce from the get-go, and then Amazon was something that was brand new to me in 2013. But I did have that background of, e-commerce knowledge and internet marketing knowledge.
And you also are really showing the separation of, you don't have to always sell stuff that you love. Like, I don't see you as a purse guy,
No.
but you saw that there's an avenue for that. So why not sell it? So you're I guess the first rule of selling online is if you're selling it, don't get emotionally attached, because the old lean startup method, if it doesn't work, you got to cut bait fast. That's really true in your world as well.
Yeah, but also when I teach people how, like I mentor and coach people how to do Amazon. And so when I'm starting with someone fresh and they're trying to private label a product, they just want to get in that market. They don't know exactly what type of brand they want to sell or what they want to do. They just know Amazon's the answer.
Yep.
So with them, I do tell people to, start with things you enjoy or that you have knowledge about, because it makes the marketing easier. If I sell a women's menopause supplement, I've never gone through menopause. I don't know the first thing about it.
I don't think you ever will either.
Exactly. So that would be hard for me to go out there and market that without getting extra help. But if it's something that I know about, I can write copy quicker. I can do social media posts quicker. Everything just becomes a lot quicker. But like you said, you cannot get emotionally attached to anything, because everything is a roller coaster ride. It all has its ups and downs.
Yeah. So you kind of got in on what we would probably say in the industry, probably about the second wave of the online selling. I mean, you and I both know, hearing those stories from 99, that, hey, by 2015, everything will be done online. And that came and went. And those who were early adopters jumped in, and those that were like, oh, it's never going to happen, didn't. Now, 2020, well, things are slightly different than they were in 2015. Where do you see the importance now of e-commerce and making sure, whether it's a product or a service or a course or whatever it is that you're offering, how important is it now? And just to future project a little bit, if we get back to normal, as the words are saying, do you think that that importance of e-commerce is going to change, or is it you, if you haven't gotten in it now, you best get your backside into it because this is the future, whether you like it or not?
Yeah, like you said, if you haven't got into it now, it's you need to get your butt in gear and get moving. And you don't have to start tomorrow, but you need to figure out what you're going to be doing and how you're going to do it. To me, e-commerce is still like a toddler, right? It's still early on. There's still a lot of people that haven't fully adopted it yet. But with everything that's going on now, more and more people are forced to go online and buy things online. They're forced to figure it out. They're forced to figure out technology and Zoom and all this new software and stuff that's out there. And so I do think that more and more companies are going to just force that e-commerce transaction ahead of everything else. So I think it's the new norm. Like, I really do. And I think more and more people are going to go look online to validate, right, your brand. If they see it in stores, they're going to go look online to see if they can get it cheaper, right? And if you don't have a web presence, you don't have that e-commerce presence out there, it kind of looks a little shady now for some brands. Like I said, with supplements, if you see something out there and I don't have a web presence and not an e-commerce presence on that, right, it's going to look a little weird for the consumer because they want to go find out more about the product, who they're buying from. You can see that before this happened, a lot of more brands were going towards that story-based advertising, right? Showing who they are, where they came from, who they help, all the charities they support. So you got to have that web presence just for, the consumer side of it. But yeah, it's still early on, I think.
Well, and I mean, it comes down to, and I wrote down as you were talking the word trust, but trust works twofold. First of all, my little gray-haired granny who was like, I'm not giving my credit card to anyone to buy anything online, is now saying, hey, here's my credit card. Can you just order me this? It took trust or a little bit of a force for trust. But at the same time, on the other side of things, you're totally right. Websites, online presence, it's the great validator. It's the thing that gives the hat tip to say, yes, we've already vetted this, especially if you're on Amazon or a platform like that. You're pre-vetted before you even get on there to sell your stuff. If I trust Amazon, therefore I now trust everything that Brandon sells because he's on Amazon. And so that transfer of trust. I do like how you said we're still in the toddler stage. And I guess looking forward, if we're not looking 2 years down the road, but 50 years down the road, yeah, this really is the beginning of the e-commerce phase in how we do it. So let's talk, because I got a lot of folks that are following this on the local side of things. The big thing now, as you've probably seen there, even though you sell nationally, you're hearing a lot of it as well. Support local, shop local, support local. I see that one of the big issues with supporting local is, as a person who's looking for something, first and foremost, to preface this, we're all either overtaxed or we're lazy. One of the two. I don't care how you want to say it. But by the time we're done our day and we get home, the last thing we want to do is to get back in our car to go get something. So where do we go? We go online. I'm looking for a book. I have two choices. One, I can go to Amazon and I can type in the book. There's 100 different stores that sell it. Or two, I can get in my car and drive to the bookstore. Which one am I going to choose? Now, the rational brain says, drive to the bookstore. It literally is 5 minutes away. You can have the book in your hands in 5 minutes. But the other side of the brain, the lazy side of the brain that wants to rest, goes online. I order it. It's super duper easy. And I go, look at that convenience. How easy is this? Now, I support both. I love supporting local, and if I can't find it local, I got to go online because I'm not going to drive to another city to find something. Um, how can it, from your experience, not just on Amazon, but from your e-commerce experience, what can local folks do other than just get their butt into gear? Um, how can they help the system so that when somebody's looking for that book, for a supplement, for whatever it is that it is that they're selling, or a service that they're providing, or teaching that they're doing, how can they start helping themselves?
Well, it goes back to having that web presence themselves, right? So I think a lot of factors go into whether you're going to buy online at Amazon or go to a bookstore. And so with books, just for me as a consumer, if I want to browse, I don't know what I want to read. And this is more for like fiction books, really pop up for this one. I like going to the bookstore and just looking around, all right, seeing what jumps out at me and grabbing my attention. If it's a nonfiction book, usually I know what I want. So it's easier just to go to Amazon, order it, and not think about it. But for a lot of people, pricing comes down to a big thing with it. And so just having a web presence where they can look online and price compare, right? You don't have to offer delivery, even though that would make even more of a difference. But you can offer in-store pickup and have it ready for them when they can get there. They can support local. If the price is right and they want to buy it, then so be it. If not, then they're going to go somewhere else. But that's with anything. Just same with Amazon. People price shop on there. So it's I think more having that web presence is just going to draw more attention, right? Having that web presence and that social media presence and all that, you're just going to get more eyeballs to you. There's a lot of local restaurants and businesses around the Nashville area here that have gone viral just because of like sayings they've had on their, on those little marquee boards and stuff like that. And they get all kinds of merchandise sales from it and everything else just because of that online presence, even though they're that local, just Nashville or outskirts of Nashville type business.
So what it sounds like you're saying as well is just because you have a business isn't a good enough reason for people to purchase from you. Just because you have a business and you're local might not be a good enough reason. You have to put the legwork and to show people like, this is why you need to purchase from me. A, we're local. B, I love the idea of the deliveries, and that, hey, we're local, we'll deliver to you. You can have it, better than next day. And the list goes on. I remember back in the day, I'm going to say when you and I were without beards, so one of our beards seemed to grow faster than the others. You'd put something on and you remember this. All of a sudden, it didn't matter what you're doing, a signing company or a contracting company, and you get a call from somebody 6 states over, and you'd be like, man, I'm crushing the web. People 6 states over are calling for me. It was just that the algorithms sucked back then. And I remember a lot of us were thinking, even though it's great that the world became smaller and it's the World Wide Web, so anyone in Australia or Austria or Little Austria here in where I live, anyone can find you. But at the same time, though, people still wanted to shop local. Somebody isn't going to order, contracting from 6 states over, because there's that trust. We're tribal. Seth Godin talked about the tribes and all that on how we trust people within our tribe. And sometimes your tribe is your family, your neighborhood, the school you went to, or maybe the city that you live in. So, I mean, I'm thinking that the next launch forward is either, and we're on Zoom, so
Yeah.
governments are listening to this, so I hope no one steals this idea. And you might say, you might tell me, dude, they've been talking about that for a while. You ain't no original idea that you come up with, but Amazon local. Like, so I want to buy from Amazon, but I want to buy who's local to me. I don't want to buy from, and I've done this before where I order something, it looks like it's local, and then I get the shipping tracking number and it's out of Yugoslavia or it's out of Australia. And now I'm waiting, it's no longer next day or 2 days later. Now I'm waiting a week and a half or 2 weeks for that thing to come on. So I think some sort of Amazon local or your own local online store is what's going to help people purchase from you. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, smart man. He's taught everyone how to click twice and get what you want. Where before, like you'd mentioned it was all that story marketing. Click here to learn about us. Click here to find out what we're all about. Click here to look at our mission statement. Hey, here's the charities that we do. All of those are really good. And for people who want to know that stuff, and there is that purchaser out there, that's great stuff for them. But I think the brilliant thing that Bezos taught everyone was, we're all busy. You're going to click once to get in. You type in what it is that you look for, and you're going to click search. So you're going to type in, you're going to click search. That's your second click. And then you're going to look and go, there's the book. Click. That's your third click. It already stores your information. So now I'm in and out within 3 clicks, and that's the convenience. Whereas I think that the local website is still building up on the tell them who I am, tell them what I do, let's show them all this other stuff that I can do. Where in the end, people just, they want to purchase something that they need. Do you have what I need or not? So what's your thoughts on e-commerce, local shopping, maybe getting spotlighted out of this thing that we're in?
So I had an idea a while back. It was like that, but it wasn't with Amazon. It was with Shopify.
Right.
I think Shopify.
Oh, got to do a shout out. Shopify's from 60 minutes from my hometown here in Canada.
Well, you can drive there and give them this idea, because I think that they can be, I won't say with a few clicks, but we all know it's going to take a lot more work than that. But with a few clicks, they can be Amazon's biggest competitor. Right, they have access to all of the e-commerce stores that are hosted on Shopify, and that number is just growing daily, right? So their stock has gone up, everything, right? So I've always figured that they need to make a search engine, just like Google, and you go in there and say you want, melatonin sleep aid or whatever, and you type that in, and it pulls up all the stores that have melatonin. Right. And so it puts them in like a little display grid, just like Amazon. But to your point, you can sort by furthest distance.
Yep.
Right. So that way you're supporting local people, or as close to local people as you are. So if someone in Nashville searched, then my store would pop up because I'm right down the road from them. But, someone in Canada, they're not going to see my store because I'll be on page 10. And it kind of helps that local, but at the same time, it brings up all the Shopify stores, click of a button, and it goes to the store's checkout, and they can check out. Now on Amazon, I see Amazon doing something like that. They have like all kinds of different programs. Amazon Handmade, which is their competition to Etsy.
I was going to say, that sounds like Etsy, but bringing in offshore stuff.
Yep. And then you have, I think you can have a local shop. I think Amazon's getting more and more into the groceries. We saw that with the acquisition of Whole Foods, in Seattle and a couple other states. They were doing fresh produce and stuff before they got Whole Foods. So the next logical step and the progression that I see, especially down here in the South, is people are going to farmers markets. They're buying local meat, local vegetables and stuff like that. So why not have that just platform and then utilize all that? All right, you can have a big warehouse where, everything gets stored, that companies can bring stuff and use Amazon's logistics and get it out. So,
well, we kind of have two futures. One future that shows, because Walmart also is a big competitor of yours right now, because the Waltons said, hey, we have collectively more money than Bezos. Why don't we, and not only that, Bezos had to buy Whole Foods for the distribution network in the chain, where Walmart has had that for 50 years. So they're like, why don't we improve our online experience? So I know a couple drivers up here that work for I forget the Amazon affiliate that does the deliveries at home, and one that does the Walmart ones. And they said that the Walmart ones coming into this season's Christmas were out delivering the Amazon packages going out, because Walmart put a massive push on that. So we have a future where we have two very rich families taking the lion's share, or we have a future where we can collectively get together as small businesses and say, hey, like an Etsy, like you said, that says, hey, I have some stuff to sell. Here's a provider of those things that can sell it and can get that stuff into your hands. And at the same time, it's that double bubble where you're buying it and you're feeling good because you got it, and the convenience of it, where you're also getting that other push by, and I supported local.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hit the record button back in so nobody heard what you and I were just talking about. No. Okay, so let's. So one quick thing is, this is the first thing we talked about. Make it easy. If you're selling something online, I'm a firm believer. Simple, simple, simple. Like super simple. Make it easy. Let me click on the product. Have everything written up about it. If you want to have, a review on it, great. I'm already at the level where I've already searched it and reviewed it anyway, so I already know that. But if there's a review, and then make it really easy for me to purchase the stuff and deliver it. So first rule is simple. Make it simple. Mm-hmm. Second thing, and I'm going to get you to talk on this because I love it on your site. You have amazing pictures, amazing photography. You're not just shooting with bad lighting and a really low res camera and all that. And so I'm going to ask you a twofold question. Was that from the beginning that you're like, listen, we need really good pictures? Or was that something that was learned and you had maybe shoddy pictures, and then once you put a couple of nice pictures on there so that I can see 3 or 4 versions of, here's the bottle, you can read the descriptions of it, you can read the other side of it. Was that something that you grew into?
Early on, I think some of the images, and early on, like 2013 when we first started, they were kind of a little shoddy. But as e-commerce grows, as Amazon grows, those images play a vital role in just your overall conversion rate, how many units you're going to sell. And so with Amazon in particular, mobile traffic accounts for about 65% of their traffic, right? So when you go to stores and you price match, you do it on Amazon. Usually pop up to Amazon. People just browse on their phone while they're just bored. They'll get on there and they think it's something, they'll start browsing. When you look through the app and you click on a product, the very first thing you see taking up about 80% of the screen is the image. And the natural thing to do is, because there's all these little dots there, is just start swiping through the images. So the images are your first chance to really, really sell once you get them onto your listing that way. Because like you mentioned earlier, a lot of people are just lazy, right? They're going to look at the price and make sure the product's what they want. And if the price is anywhere close to what they're willing to pay, they're going to go look through all those images. And if you have, not as good at images, then, people are going to bounce more. But the high quality images, the ones with more information, benefits, features, social proof, anything like that will captivate them and keep them on your listing longer. The longer you have them there, the greater they're going to, the chance you have to sell it. So yeah, it plays a vital role in each listing.
Nice. Social proof for those listening and not sure what that is. That would be like a review. Hey, bought these, came out in 3 days. They were exactly what they promised. So that's just somebody else verifying it. Okay. So yeah, pictures key. Now here's something that I've got to sometimes arm wrestle people over. And I know that you have spent a lot of time in this. So price.
Yes.
My price. Why do I keep my price up that high? Because my stuff is better. I'm not worried about what the industry is selling it for everyone else. Mine is the better stuff. And sometimes people get caught up in their own self-worth and self-value when pricing, when they don't actually understand that sometimes people just look at your price, they'll look down and they'll look back up and they'll swipe. How much time do you guys put into pricing your product, and that's going to kind of answer the how important is it? So if you can kind of answer those things.
Yeah, to answer the latter first, it's very important to have the right price. Now there are different tiers for every product. You're going to have the cheap version out there of everything, whether it's imported. So a lot of people here, say the stuff that's made in China, right? It's a lot cheaper because less quality sometimes. Now that's not always the case, right? They have really high quality items and good craftsmanship too, but there's the cheap version of a product. There's your average mid-tier price product. And then there's that luxury item where people are just pay more, like a Rolex watch. People are willing to pay $10,000, $20,000 for a watch. Tells time just as good as the $10 watch from Walmart, right? But there's still that, just that success factor behind it. People think they're getting better quality, or maybe it is better quality. So the price is a major factor. Now, when we go to price something, we look just to make sure that we can make money, that we can advertise, right? We have a good net profit when it's all said and done. And there's different levels that we go based on, Amazon in particular. Amazon has different fees and stuff that we have to calculate into all that. And so we want to make sure that what we're doing is worth our time. Right? If I'm only going to make $1 per unit on something, I'm going to be spinning my wheels because I'm never going to get ahead. All right. I can put in the same amount of work on a $10 product or, profit product and get, a lot further. So when we go to price products, we really look at what the competition is doing. We look at what our product is. So back to the private label, if we go to a supplier and get their stock version of the product, we don't make any modifications or customizations to it, then we have an average product. So we need to be an average price product. But if we go through a lot of time and effort, a lot of research and development, and trying to formulate a new product, for example, or make something a lot better than it already is, then we're going to have to price that higher and at least get our money back into it, or show why we are pricing higher. And then again, that's all with the images and the listing and all your marketing with it. But yeah, we look at what everyone else is doing and make sure that we're comparable, because if you're in that comparable zone, right, then you have that greater chance of capturing that sale. Too high, you get double takes. Too low, you get double takes, right? People are wondering why it's so low. And so you want to get them, like you said, make it simple. So my rule of thumb is make everything just at 5th grade level, right? Reading, images, everything. And so you just want people to see it, look at the price, agree, and swipe. All right. So the less that you can take away from them, the less decisions, the greater you're going to have that sell.
So if we're talking about your standard products, so we're not talking high ticket item or entry level, what you want to do, if everyone else is $19.99, you want to come in at that $19.99, but then you want to start edging out the competition and not devaluing them, but letting them favor you more by looking at things such as, hey, look at how great your pictures are. Look at how easy your write-up is. Look at the social proofing that's already here. So now all of a sudden, depositioning, that's what I was thinking of. All of a sudden, you're positioning yourself as the leader in that $19.99 category, and you're depositioning everyone else because they might have shoddy pictures, nothing's written up about it, the label looks bad, and you've sold already 10,000 units, and they've only sold 150 units. So now you're owning that category. So I guess it's what you're saying is go into a category and just dominate and own that space, and don't worry about being too high or not or too low. Just come in where everybody else is and dominate and deposition everyone and position yourself as the leader.
Yeah, it's a good for starting, right? When you're starting out, you don't need to put all your time and energy into the price. Just come out at that average price where everyone else kind of fits, and then just get into the marketing, right? And then when you get into it, then you can start testing different pricing strategies. Maybe come down to $18.97, right? Instead of if everyone's at $19.99, and you're just making that little adjustment in their mind where you're drawing more attention. Or maybe go to $21.97, right? And you might find that you sell more at $21.97 than you did at $18.97, because it's just that psychological trick that you're playing on them, where everyone else is, around a little bit lower or anything like that. So definitely try to, fluctuate around that, but I do keep it in that zone. I'll go a few dollars higher, a few dollars lower, and try to find that magic sweet spot that really gets the most.
Now you've sold tens of thousands of product and shipped tens of thousands of things. So we talked about the product, we talked about images, we talked about pricing, we've talked about writing up, and that's the beginning of the relationship. As you're coming to the fruition and the not the end of the relationship, but the what really starts the hey, I'm going to order from them again is how does the product show up at their place and that. So let's talk a little bit about I'm going to say packaging, but it will say delivery, and we'll kind of encompass it all in this conversation. But um, are you just putting it in a yellow smile envelope from Amazon? Are you guys, do you have specific packaging that it goes in so that when they open it, they kind of have that aha moment? What have you spun your wheels on and lost time on? And what have you not spun your wheels on and were like, man, here's a mic drop moment right here.
Yeah, so it depends what you sell, right? If you sell luxury, skincare items, you need to have a luxury looking package. You can't just have, a bottle of skin cream by itself. Now, with us and Amazon, we just ship the products in just by themselves, right? Like just a little bottle, and there's a bunch of them in a box, and then Amazon divvies them up. Because Amazon's going to do what Amazon wants to do when it comes to shipping. All right, we have no control over what it looks like. So they might put this little bottle in a box big enough for a 50-pound bag of dog food. And, like we've all gotten those type of packages from them. Or they might put it in that yellow smiley face envelope and stuff it in your mailbox.
Right.
It's all based on what the truck needs. If a truck needs a big box to hold up all the other boxes, they're going to put your package in a big box. It's all, based on the algorithm. But when we ship, from our e-commerce store, Shopify store, same thing. We have a little bit nicer packaging that we do here. We put some nice inserts in it, coupon offers, things like that. But we don't go above and beyond anymore. People are just used to buying things without all that now. And like I said, it's not a luxury supplement. It's nothing that needs to have that quality looking package. So it's just get them the bottle and get it to them quick. There are reasons why, especially with Amazon, to do your own packaging. Like you said, you can do different inserts and get people into your ecosystem. But at the same time, it just adds to your cost. So it really just you have to look at your bottom dollar, look at what you're trying to accomplish, and see if it's really worth doing that or if there's other ways around it. So that's kind of how I approach it all.
And that totally makes sense. Where back in the day when it started out, yeah, it was a novelty ordering online. So you wanted to hit them up with all this stuff. But
Yep.
now it's just as easy to go into your local Popeye store to buy that supplement. Who's not, and you're just grabbing that off the shelf and then walking it up, and you're not getting the fancy packaging. So that's just costing you money.
Yep.
Now, last part of this transaction is reaching back to the customer. Now, and this is going to go into, before we finish up, some myths. So one's going to be a question. I'm going to throw myths in here. On your e-commerce store, you have the name of who purchased it. So Trevor Shruka buys something from you. You have my name, you have my email, you have all of my information. And I'm assuming that if I buy it off of Amazon, you know my name, but you don't, and you know my Amazon number, but you don't know my email address. So first myth cleared up is if you're selling on Amazon, that customer is Amazon's customer who's purchased from you. But before we get into that, how soon after I purchase from your e-commerce store are you reaching back? I mean, obviously there's the initial kick out of the email. Hey, thanks for purchasing from us. It's in the mail. Here's your tracking number. But are you reaching back out to me with any type of newsletter offer other than what I get electronically? Because I know there's a lot of people that are too afraid to send out emails because they don't want to bug people. And we're like, if they're a customer of yours, trust me, you're not bugging them. So let's start with how fast are you reaching back after the after the sale to the client on your personal side, and then we'll move into the myths on who owns me if I buy from you on Amazon.
Yeah. So with if you buy from us on our website, we have a great post-purchase autoresponder series that we built out. It's about 2 weeks long. So we're hitting you with 10 different emails with that one purchase.
And I'm just going to jump in here really quickly because we did talk. I talked about this with someone else on an e-newsletter campaign. Brandon is not sitting there one at a time sending these out. He's created this autoresponder that whether I purchase on April 1st, April 20th, or April the 30th, that autoresponder starts kicking out. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so it's all about building engagement and trust up. So we talked a little bit about trust earlier. Amazon has all the trust in the world. Our e-commerce store doesn't. Now, the fact that they bought from us means we already got some trust with them. We've established a little bit of trust already. Now we want more. Now we want to maximize what we can get from each customer so that we can really take our business to the next level. So the very first email is always that standard, thank you, here's your receipt, here's all the information, all that good stuff. Then it starts going into about who we are, why we started the company, what sets us apart from everybody else. And then we start doing some content. So we do weekly blog posts and try to build up a lot of content marketing through those. And so we'll send out some of those blog articles. Now we have different series set up based on different products. So if you order a melatonin product, you're going to get an article kind of related to that or close to it. And then we have some generic ones that just kind of fit as what the brand is as a whole, and that's kind of like supporting your best life is how we feel. And so it's everything to support your best life. And then throughout that, we give another coupon offer. And that's like a week and a half down the road and try to get them. If they don't utilize that coupon and take advantage, it does give a scarcity reminder. So, hey, you got 48 hours to use your coupon. If they don't use it by then we jump it up to another, 15% off discount, whether from a 10. And it's just constantly doing that. We're sprinkling in more blog posts through it. And it's just trying to get them more back to our site, engaging with our content. And then, of course, we have Facebook ads that are always out there retargeting and doing things as well. But yeah, we're hitting them up pretty much from day one. And then it's every couple of days after until, 2 weeks are up. And then they go into just our main newsletter list where we're doing, weekly emails, and whether that be blog content or sales or anything like that.
So then what you're saying is just because you have an e-commerce store, you ain't kicking back and collecting checks. You're actually putting some boots on the ground and working this thing.
Yeah, because most people are only going to buy from you one time.
Yeah.
So you've really got to do what you can to get them back to you twice. If you get them twice, then you can really start hammering them and getting them back to you. We offer, subscribe and save on our website, and we do it cheaper than Amazon, right? As another incentive to, hey, just come buy from us. We do free shipping on all subscriptions where we don't do it with normal orders, all right? So we're trying to force people to subscribe, and we're trying to make it easier on them to subscribe just because it helps us out. But I mean, it's also helping them. It's saving them more money. Right, they get the higher discounts from that. They're getting it shipped to their door automatically, so they don't have to think about it. But yeah, we do everything we can to maximize each order. We're even running Facebook ads to our one-off order customers, pushing subscribe and save, saying, hey, do you know we have a subscribe and save program? Start today for 20% off, and pushes it that way. But yeah, you have to put in the work.
Yeah, and just to clear everything up, we're not talking subscription to your email. You're talking subscription sales. So I'm going to have vitamins, supplements showing up at my door. So is your model once a month that they're going to show up, or is it quarterly that supplements show up in your model?
So I have just a major drop-down menu where they can pick days and weeks. So, they can do every 14 days, or they can do every 3 weeks or every 2 months, quarterly. So I give them an unlimited amount of options for it. And we have some people that, like take our melatonin gummies with, they have 5 kids, right? So they're needing bottles every couple of weeks versus just once a month. So it's really just allowing the customer that free reign and unlimited choice to do it.
I was just going to bring that up. So you're allowing me, the customer, to be 100% in charge of the sale, as opposed to you boxing me into a specific sale.
Yeah, and you can change it anytime. All right. So if you want to pause your subscription, cancel it for a couple of months, you want to change it to a different product, it's all easy to do. There's no, red tape you have to jump through. You don't have to contact customer service, right? It's a simple little portal. They go in there and it's all done through an app, right? So that's the beauty about e-commerce now. Is when I first started in e-commerce a decade ago, you had to like custom code a lot of this stuff, or go through a ton of hoops just to accomplish one little thing. Maybe you wanted to bold something, and that was an hour job.
It was tough.
How do I?
It was tough.
It really was. And now, like with Shopify in general, there's apps for anything and everything you want to do, right? You could pop up emails, games, giveaway services. SEO is done through, and everything's done through an app. So a few clicks of the button just makes it so much easier.
We often talk about customer for life, and from the service point of view, because we provide a service. Again, we have a drop down that says, do you need help with SEO, design, web, and all that. Once we get, and you're right, once we get someone to order more than once off of us, that second time, that third time, that customer for life syndrome pops in. KLT, I mean, you're from back in the day of marketing, the know, like, and trust method of marketing to sell really does shine through. They got to know you first, they got to like you second, then they trust you. Once they trust you, then I like to say, then you don't have market share, you have wallet share, because they know, they like you the first time by ordering from you, they trust you by reordering. What I was going to ask you this, but you started talking about subscription models. So customer for life, how do you guys look at it on an e-commerce point of view?
So just everything you said, right? We try to get them to do the KTL, right? Know, like, and trust us. And once we have that trust built up, to us, it's just game on, right? Because we can maximize it. But for us, it all starts with customer service. Like, I think we provide some of the best customer service out there by far, right? We respond quick. We treat the customer with respect, right? No matter what's going on in the transaction, they're always right. And if they're not, we're going to act like they are and, make them happy. And that builds up the trust and showing that. But yeah, it really is just taking care of the customer through the whole way. All right. If you see issues, do what you can to fix those issues right away and stop them from future, transactions happening. And then the smoother it gets, the more the customers enjoy it and they keep coming back to you.
And just to clear things up from anyone who's thinking about it, must be easy because you probably have hundreds of people working for you because you're a 7-figure business. How many people are running the shop over there?
It's just me and my wife now.
Yeah, and you're taking care of the shipping, the orders, the customer service, and getting back to people, building up the emails and all that. So that goes back to systematizing. I know before we started recording, you and I were chatting. It's putting in the system, creating the system that works, and like a mill and the water flowing over it. It'll continually work as long as you continually put into it, and that. So you don't have to have hundreds of people working for you to pull off what you're talking about.
No, we did before. Right. When we took the first company to 7 and 8 figures, we got a warehouse. We had teams of employees. And when we started stripping away everything that we were doing, I would say 75% of the work was more busy work.
Yeah.
Right. It
Oh,
was,
hey, that's what we're doing. Everyone is doing busy work right now.
exactly. And it was like, this is not moving the needle. So when
Yeah.
you strip away what needs to be focused on, right, it's not that much, right? It's that 80-20 rule. Like, it really does produce that. So it's finding what those pillars are for you. And so, we talked about Amazon. So main pillar is like the Amazon SEO. You need reviews. You got to have inventory because that's a
Yep.
big push, and then ranking.
Yep.
So there's only 4 things you really need to worry about. Inventory, well, that's done once a month or once a week or however you need to set it up. But 30 minutes at a time, right? It's not that much. It's making some invoices, some POs, and sending them on. Reviews, you can automate that. So you can do things all the way through. And like you said, systematize it, automate it, and then it just frees up so much more room for you to focus on the big picture stuff.
Nice. So I think that really shows people right from cradle to grave. If we start with that customer service that we just finished off here and move forward, that's how you build an e-commerce store. That's how, even as a local company, you can still dominate your area. And here's the bonus: you could ship outside of your area. Most people don't. They're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about, how do I get the local people to buy from me? But if you can dominate your local area, you might just get more. A couple myths to clear up before we finish up. One was, you already said, you don't, so I buy from you on Amazon. You don't own me as a customer. I'm Amazon's customer. What information do you get when a purchase goes through?
So 2 different things. There's fulfillment by Amazon, which is FBA.
Yep.
That's, you get the little Prime logo on that. And then there's fulfilled by merchant, or FBM. So if I want to fulfill all my orders myself, not let Amazon, it's cheaper a little bit, not by much, but it is cheaper. I will get your name and your address. Occasionally you'll get a phone number. They're starting to remove those as well from that, but that's all you see. Like, you don't get their email address, you get their Amazon email address, which is about 150 characters long, and that's it. And then with FBA, you get their name and their Amazon email address. You don't even get their address or any of that anymore. And if they could find a way to not give you the address and phone number with FBM, they'll do it, right? Like, if they can create the label and hide it, whatever they can do to do that, they would do that. So they don't give you any information whatsoever. It's their customer. If you do anything to get their customer off of Amazon and into your ecosystem, they'll knock you down. They've actually will suspend you off the platform if you do it enough. So, they're very hardcore about who owns that data and what you can do with it. But there are things that you can do, like I was talking about, inserts, and you can do QR codes on your package or your label or whatever, or links. You can do warranties, money back, or like lifetime warranties if you go here to sign up. So there's some things you can do to get that information off of Amazon, but it is getting harder and harder to do that.
I'm assuming also if it's called Brandon Clark supplements, I can then go to my Google search and go Brandon Clark supplements. And
Yep.
if you have your own website, I can find you that way as well.
Yeah, you find a lot of people do that, especially with supplements or grocery items and stuff like that. People will see your product on Amazon, and they want that validation. They want to make sure you're legit. So going back to, you need that web presence no matter what, right? They will go to the website and see that. Now, if the prices are cheaper or you offer a better experience, you will capture that sell on the website. And then the flip side of it, we'll run Facebook ads to a content marketing piece, a blog post or something. And then you'll see an influx in Amazon orders because people are looking at that. They're seeing the product, but they want to go to Amazon and buy it.
Well, and there's something about that Prime logo. When I see it, Amazon has already paid enough money to get me to trust the fact that, oh, just order that way, the shipping's free. So
Yep.
that, so that's where you're really playing chess with Amazon, and to say, hey, how am I going to do this? Two, who gets the money? You're selling all this stuff on Amazon. Everyone who sells on Amazon is rich. That's the belief. What do you keep, and what do you got? What does Bezos, when he's sitting back? I see him as Scrooge McDuck sometimes, diving into that gold. But on a 1999 purchase, what is Amazon scraping away from you?
Yeah.
If you're on Prime or if you're not on Prime.
If you're on time or not on time, is that what you said?
Prime, because someone's paying for that free shipping.
Yeah, so Prime makes a massive, massive difference in your conversion rate. And if you don't know what conversion rate is, it's just how many people you buy your product, out of say 100. So if 30 people buy, you get a 30% conversion rate. That's the minimum on Amazon that we shoot for with that Prime logo, is a 30% conversion rate. E-commerce, if you got a 3%, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Right. So now when it comes to the money, Amazon does get just massive amounts from people like me. I probably got West Wing in his house paid for, just me, but
I was going to say, Jeff Bezos thanks you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does his ex-wife.
Yeah. We need to talk about that later. But yeah, I thank him too, because you're not going to find those conversion rates anywhere else, that type of traffic. So what he takes with the price, with a Prime logo, and if you're fulfilled by Amazon, roughly you can say about 35% of that is going to be given to Amazon.
Right.
Now, what is included in that 35%? So right off the bat, you're going to have a 15% dock on your price. So if you sell a product for $20, they're going to take $3 right away just for a referral fee. That's saying, hey, you're taking our customer, we're allowing you to be on the platform. That's our cut of the price. They do that based on what you sell it for. So if you have it listed at 100, they're not going to take $15 away. All right. If you sell a $100 item for $10, they're only going to take 15% of that $10. So $1.50. So not that bad, right? Can factor that in. The other half is your FBA pick and pack fee. So if I'm sending in inventory in, and this varies based on the product dimensions, the size, the length, the weight, all that good stuff. So those factors vary, but again, it's like 15 to 20% that you can really estimate that. But that's them warehousing your product. That's them getting the orders out, picking them right off the shelves, packing them up in the package, shipping them out for you. That includes the shipping cost and everything that they do. So for a supplement, a bottle, just a normal size little bottle, costs about $3.20. Right? If I ship this myself from here and do it first class mail, which might take 3 to 5 days, depending on location, it might be like $3 to $4. So it's the same price, but again, customers are getting a lot quicker. So yeah, it all varies on that. With FBM, there is the referral fee, 15% that you pay, but you don't pay that pick and pack fee. Now you have to ship it yourself, and you have to pay for shipping yourself. So if it's the same price and you offer free shipping, it's pretty much about the same that you're coming out. You might make like a quarter more, right? But that quarter, you got to look at your time, your energy. How long is it taking you to ship? All right. We've had to do FBM lately for a couple of products, and my wife's spending all day shipping. Right. For a quarter per unit, it really doesn't add up when we can have them do it all. And it just, frees us up to do more and more things. So, yeah, they get a good chunk of it. But again, that conversion rate, it offsets everything. It makes it worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that 30% conversion rate is just a stupid number. Like, I didn't realize it was that high of a number.
That's minimum. That's what I teach my clients. Your minimum you want to shoot for. I had a product go for 3 weeks and it had 134% conversion rate. Like, I have a screen, like, people were buying multiple units, so it just shot that up.
Yeah.
I have a vitamin D product right now that's averaging about 70. Like,
So
overall, as a brand, I'm averaging 60 something percent right now.
so on Prime, you're not paying anything until your product ships, and so essentially Bezos has set up this very smart way of doing it. He holds your inventory for free, so you already have the inventory. B,
Not free, but yeah. Well,
oh,
I'll touch on that in a minute.
So he holds your inventory until I purchase from it. He's not scraping any money away from it. I go to send Brandon Clark $20. Then Jeff says, hey, you know what? I'm going to grab $3.50 from that. But this distribution network that we've perfected, the shipping method that we've perfected, all of that comes into play for that $3.50.
Yeah. And they do house your inventory for free most of the time, right? I can send in 1,000 units of a product. They're going to sit there. If it sells and moves, no harm, no foul. They're not going to charge anything. If they do, it's pennies on the dollar. It's really not much at all. Now, if I don't sell it, if it just sits up there and I'm using Amazon as a warehouse storage and not pushing that inventory out, then they're going to start charging you. All right, you're taking space, and right, we can be putting very products that move a lot quicker in that space. And people do that. They'll send in 10,000 units and sell 2 a day, right? And so Amazon will start charging you an arm and a leg for that stuff. But
so they're not a free storage unit for your products.
Yeah, but they have it set up perfect where, if we ship it into their warehouse, we get that Prime logo automatically, and that makes a big difference into that conversion rate. Now, they have seller fulfilled Prime where I can use a third-party service to fulfill my orders, or if I can guarantee 2 days shipping to locations, I can get that Prime badge and I fill it out. But that's far and few between. If I make a mistake in shipping, I'm the one that gets dinged for it. If Amazon fulfills an order and UPS loses that package, Amazon takes the blame for it. Right? They're like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. They'll give you the money. They reimburse you for lost orders because they're in charge of that whole thing. Right. And they also do customer service when you're fulfilled by Amazon. So
now, okay, so that makes sense on Prime. Essentially, Prime means they have it in their warehouse, and the inventory is there. Now, what about something that we hear is rampant, but you might say, yeah, it's not as bad as what the news is making it out. The whole doorstep theft thing with Amazon packages. Has that ever affected you? And then on that side of things, who pays for the loss?
Yeah, so you're going to hear mixed things on this. It's never affected me. We also sell products where if it does affect it, then I don't really care. A supplement's only costing me a couple of bucks to get, so I'll gladly eat that cost on those random orders. Now, I was selling mattresses and mattress toppers and stuff on Amazon at one point. Now you're talking about hundreds of dollars in a transaction. That is a little bit different. Again, when it's theft and if they can prove it, there's different claims you can do. But Amazon does a great job of reimbursing people. They understand what's going on. So if they don't, you can fight it a little bit. You can have, kind of appeal that decision. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to award you the decision. So they'll reimburse you what you would have made on that product minus their fees. All right. They're still taking out their fees for everything.
Right.
But yeah, they'll still reimburse you a lot of times. But yeah, I think the packages, that's always going to be a problem no matter who you order from. Right. If Walmart, they have the same thing. We order from Whole Foods and I'm probably going to have groceries delivered on my door here in the next 30 minutes or an hour. And it's just going to be sitting out there so people can take it. But they're set up now where they handle that stuff a lot better.
Nice. So it should not be a deterrent for anyone thinking about going online and selling e-commerce to go, oh, everyone's taking those packages anyways. I don't know if I want to take the risk.
No, and if it is, right, and you get to that point, then you make that decision. But the only time I really see it is when the box is clearly, hey, this is what it is. If you buy a 65-inch TV from Amazon, you can't hide what that is.
Correct.
So if you have that on your porch and someone drives by and sees a 65-inch TV out there, you're taking that chance. But if it's just a normal Amazon package, you don't know what's in there.
Right.
It could be underwear that they're buying, or,
Yeah.
and so you're taking the chance as a thief at what you're going to get. And
Yeah. I think the thieves have gotten a bit smarter and realized that, hold on, let's not grab every package, because some are booby trapped and some are just junk that we don't need. Oh, however, like you said, hey, that's definitely a 65-inch. A friend of mine who does deliveries said that he called the people, they weren't at home. They're like, yeah, just leave it on the front porch. And he's like, are you, like, this is a $1,200 TV. Are you nuts? But they're like, no, it's fine. Leave it there. We'll be home within an hour or so. And so he left it. But as a delivery guy, he's like, yeah, I'm taking a picture and all that. So, but
and if you have, a lot of people are getting these Ring doorbells now, right?
Yes.
So that's starting to deter more and more people around, because almost everybody has one.
Yeah.
Right? They have something out there, or their neighbor has one. So, those porch thefts are becoming less of an occurrence, I think.
Yeah. Though I do enjoy the prank ones where people put gel packs and exploding packs in. Nothing's funnier than watching those. So I think, Brandon, that we covered all of the questions that I had, unless you can think of anything else that you want to share that we might not have talked about when it comes to, hey, you know what, if you've got a business and you're trying to dominate or get out into the e-commerce space so that you can take your chunk, if there's anything else that you can add to this.
Yeah, since Amazon's my wheelhouse, and for the people that are really thinking about getting on Amazon or not, don't listen to the media, right? Don't listen to the skies falling post out there. Amazon's not going anywhere. Amazon's not doing anything that's bad. I see articles all the time where, it seems like, hey, we're trying to stop people from putting stuff up on Amazon, or they don't have sellers' interests at the best at their heart. And they really don't, but no platform does, right? All platforms are only cared about their platforms, just as no one cares about your business except for you, right? You care more about it than I would, or, your neighbor will, or family, whatever. And so take advantage of it. Go where people are. Amazon is busier now than they ever have been. If you go to the website, they are actively trying to get you to not buy things right now because they're so backed up. The homepage is like nothing but blog posts. You can't buy anything anymore. They're not doing daily deals or weekly deals or anything. They've cut off coupon codes for sellers for now because they're trying to slow things down. So now is the best time to take advantage of that, even if it's only for a little bit, or if it's for the next 5 to 10 years. Take advantage of where the customers are, and where they are right now is Amazon. Like you mentioned earlier, Walmart's coming up and stuff like that. Even eBay's a little bit higher than normal. But, go where they are, and you're going to be rewarded.
Yeah, you want to fish where the fish are.
Exactly.
That's what you want to do. Brandon, thanks for taking the time. How can people get a hold of you, or listen to more of you, or find out more about you if they wanted to do that?
Yeah, just go to my website, brandonmichaelclark.com. And it has all my social information there, information about Amazon or e-commerce, whatever you're looking for, but brandonmichaelclark.com.
Perfect. I'll make sure that I put that link in the description down below. Again, Brandon, thank you very much for your time and sharing so much. You know what? We talked a lot, but it seems like it was 10 minutes worth of information. I've got to rewatch this to absorb everything. If you are sitting at home, if you have a business that might not be online for the e-commerce side of things, get a hold of us. We can help you out. If you need to hire us, we can do that. But if you want to do it on your own, just call us. We can direct you as to where you can go. We're here to help everyone. That's why we're doing all of this series of interviews. If there's anything that you need or a question, I'm sure Brandon, if you go to his site and you ask a question, I know he'll answer you back because he answers me back on some silly questions. So he'll help you out as well. And if there's anything else that you need, drop us a line or throw a comment down below. Can't wait to hear from you. Again, this has been Trevor from the Level Up podcast. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.